Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croy Dragon, and welcome to my commentary for the Papyrus episode, The Rameses Revenge, based off of the album by Lucien de Guetter. No, I don't know how the name's pronounced, so... Anyway, let's go on ahead. Lucien de Guetter. I don't know, I'm not Belgian.
In the beginning, Horus, the falcon god of light, and Seth, the god of evil, fought to control Egypt. The Council of the Gods decided Seth was sent into exile and Horus became the first pharaoh of Egypt. For 2,000 years, Pharaoh succeeded Pharaoh. But Seth had plotted his revenge, and deep inside his sinister black pyramid of Ombos, Seth imprisoned Horus in a magic sarcophagus. From then on, and no longer protected by the god Horus, Egypt was at the mercy of Seth and his servant Akhel. So the gods chose Papyrus, a young fisherman, to find the secret entrance to Ombos, free the god Horus, and restore peace to Egypt.
Yeah, and that's basically a plot given for the TV series.
Decided to visit the great temple of Abu Simbel, built by Rameses II. In this way, Pharaoh hoped to earn the favor of the gods.
Now, in the comics, Merenwe is actually Merneptah, the 13th son and successor of Ramses II. Merenwe was the name of two pharaohs who came long before any of the Ramses.
No. Papyrus, no. Wake up. No. We're almost there. I can't wake him up, Thetis.
Oh, really? Let me show you something about our friend. Did you know our little fisherman hates water, Imhotep?
But what?
Imhotep was missing a leg in the comics.
The sun has addled his brains, doesn't it, Imhotep?
Of course. Pharaoh's voyage, the temple of Ramses II, and my nightmare. I must find Ratofair right away.
Also, Papyrus, Slutty, and Imhotep pretty much all had the same
But what danger, Ratofair?
face shape.
Our last stop before
Arthur Grosser. The voice of King Richard in Ivanhoe the King's Knight, and Bagheera in the English dub of the anime The Jungle Book.
Alas, your dream does not say, but here is my advice. Be careful
An excellent actor.
and be on your guard. Remember that Egypt and Pharaoh are counting on you.
I believe, of course, the character's name was Rouser. At least, that's what I believe the character's name is pronounced as.
For the three of us to go on ahead to Abu Simbel.
Tomorrow morning, by ourselves. So,
And, Rouser wasn't even bald.
no, Thetis, no. We shouldn't leave yet. We'll go with Pharaoh and his escort. That'll be safer.
I don't understand you, Papyrus. It was your idea. You were complaining about boring ceremonies.
Well, I changed my mind. Nowhere we're going ahead by ourselves to that temple.
And may I assume our moody little fisherman will deign to tell us why?
I can't quite explain it, but I feel a great danger.
Well, that explains it. Do what you like. Stay here. As for me, I'm leaving tomorrow morning with Imhotep.
Bon voyage. And may Api, the god of the Nile, guide you. Papyrus were here.
If Papyrus were here, there'd still be no wind.
By Horace, what a night. This is not a comfortable cabin. Good to have you aboard.
In contrast to the original album where he was asleep up in the
Forebodings?
In the end, I decided
up in the sail.
with an experienced sailor on board. No wind, no sails. First lesson.
And all passengers have to row. Second lesson.
By Horace! We'll capsize! Hold on!
Okay, I believe we're at about page
Look out!
13 here. Yes, page 13, and of course, Letty's entourage is completely omitted.
The strength of the sword of Horus will always be equal to your courage.
Actually, in the album, he was. Papyrus had some self-doubt at this point.
It was like living through a nightmare. Reminds me of another nightmare in Mutat, but... Theiti! Theiti?
Why, Horace? What just happened? Did our former fisherman turn the wrong way?
Listen, Theiti. It so happens that while your majesty was resting in your cabin, a monster... Papyrus. The boat. I think we should worry about that now.
Yeah, obviously Letty wasn't knocked unconscious for the whole thing, or maybe she was.
Just needs a touch of varnish, and it's good as new.
And they completely omit the
Let's wait for Pharaoh. I think I agree.
the hippos.
Stay here another 2 days? No, we keep going.
But that's ridiculous. The gods are obviously not in...
After those monsters, they end up
And since when does Papyrus interpret the wishes of the gods?
bumping into
Then go on alone.
a herd of rhinos, and if anyone knows
For you to accompany
what rhinos, hippos.
The daughter of Pharaoh who speaks?
If anyone knows what hippos are like,
In that case,
they have to get out of there.
Majesty's orders. But I don't want to hear any complaints later on.
They ultimately did repair the boat. Oh yes, Abu Simbel.
The Temple of Ramses.
Carved into the small rocky cove, the great temple of Ramses II is framed by 4 fabulous statues of the pharaoh deified for eternity.
Duty and this sanctuary, Uni. You've betrayed Egypt and Pharaoh. I have nothing to say to a traitor.
Your plan failed, Uni. Only the High Priest Hatik knows where the sacred treasure is hidden, and Hatik escaped.
Uni! There's a bark on the Nile coming straight for the temple. I saw 3 passengers.
3 passengers. Then we better greet them properly.
Okay, now this wasn't revealed until later in the album. In fact, Papyrus wasn't even present for this part because he and Letty had gone separate ways after their little argument. Also, Letty had a bit of a costume change.
Princess, what a surprise. And what an honor to receive the Princess Theiti.
And this character looks completely different from how he did
Pharaoh will be here
in
in
the
2
album.
days. You are Hatik, High Priest of the temple?
No, Princess, I am only Uni, a humble priest among priests. Hatik is in the sanctuary. Be so good.
He was
I shall take you to him.
wasn't quite so thin, not exactly. I'm not gonna say he's overweight because he wasn't.
They're hunting down roving brigands who trouble this region, Princess.
I'm just gonna say he wasn't quite so lean.
Stop. The sanctuary begins at this point. Only the princess and priests may go any further.
Wait, Deity. Something's not right.
Another one of your forebodings? I know what I'm doing, Papyrus. And you aren't allowed in the sanctuary. Laws are laws. Hatik? Hatik? Show yourself. My Isis! In the name of Pharaoh, open this door!
Uni, what does this mean?
Don't you understand? You are in the hands of Seth, the god and lord of Ombos.
Okay, a character who doesn't... I think he doesn't show up in the original album, so I'm presuming he was made up for the series.
Now seize them.
Now, Akira is voiced by Terrence Gamel, who voiced Prince John in Ivanhoe the King's Knight, Little John in Young Robin Hood, John Patterson in For Better or For Worse. In other words, he's voiced quite a few Johns.
Don't listen to him, Papyrus.
Yeah, Papyrus wasn't even in the temple. He
Pointless to resist. Lock them
had been captured by a group of bandits, one of whom had been masquerading as a soldier of Pharaoh.
Get out of here. We need the gods' help. Do you hear me? Ta, Ammon, Ramses, and you, Ra, useless gods of stone. Where is all your power now? Papyrus, where are you? Oh, Nebu, glorious goddess, come to our aid. Let Ramses look towards Ra. What? Who speaks? By Isis. Am I dreaming or losing my mind? Let Ramses? Could it possibly mean? Let Ramses look toward Ra. Forgive me, Ramses. Are you Hatik? The high priest of the temple?
He was called Hapu in the album.
He is in league with the brigands, and he let them into the temple last night. May Horus once again protect both Egypt and Pharaoh.
There was two groups of brigands. There was the brigands that had taken
Where the treasure is, only is
the temple in search of the treasure, and then there were the ones who had captured Papyrus.
Give us what you promised. What about it? Waiting for Pharaoh and his escort?
Pharaoh's daughter knows how to get to the treasure. She will talk. I thought of a very effective way to persuade her. Wretched brigands. The gold doesn't matter. It's the glory of Seth.
Yeah, because Seth wasn't even involved in this in the original album.
The temple's treasure.
That priest was actually
So then, my magic had no effect. You and the Papyrus,
one of the brigands.
despite my warning,
What warning was that, High Priest?
nothing happened during your voyage.
The monsters attack. Then Papyrus was right to see it as a sign. I didn't listen. It's all my fault.
Quick, princess. Trust me.
But
Trust me, princess. Do what I ask.
Follow me, princess. I have something very interesting to show you.
I don't know where the treasure is hidden, Uni. And even if I did know, I'd never tell on my life.
I am sure you will change your mind, princess. Look.
And now we're brought to basically where Papyrus was brought into the
I should have believed you.
scene in the original album.
Quickly and well.
Release Papyrus, Uni, or fear Pharaoh's wrath.
Take her back to the sanctuary.
Let me go. I am Pharaoh's daughter.
Deity! Deity! Don't give in!
life is threatened, Hajik. Give up the treasure to Uni. It's the only way to save Papyrus's life.
Never! I'll not let the sacred treasure be profaned. The gods would be mortally offended, and their wrath would fall onto the people of Egypt and on Pharaoh.
Papyrus cannot be sacrificed. I shall offer my own life.
No, princess. That would be useless. Uni is not a simple traitor. He is under the influence of Seth, the evil god who is Lord of Ombos.
Seth, again. What can we do?
And again, Seth was not a factor in the original album.
What a thirst.
That's actually kind of cruel.
She's had time to think it over. Open up.
O thou the god Ra, let your power be made manifest, and destroy those who profane this temple! Ramses! Ramses! I call upon you now! Ramses! Ramses!
And now for the climax.
That's impossible.
How did she get away? Did one of you betray me?
What's that?
The gods! The gods are angry!
Ramses! 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 Ramses!
Watch where you step.
Stop! Hajik! Papyrus! The Ramses will crush him!
Your friend Papyrus has nothing to fear, princess.
When the statues entered the... Actually, I'll let you just watch and see. Wait. That's not how it was on the album. The statues formed a dam. And there ended up being a sandstorm.
Papyrus is in the hands of the gods now. O thou Ra, let your power be made manifest and overwhelm these profaners!
Princess Lady and Hajik.
Ramses, let your vengeance be now!
Give me that. In the name of Seth.
Let the fire of the Lord of Ombos strike!
In contrast to the album where it was just a brigand throwing a spear and Hapu dying.
Oh, Seth, God of great strength!
Lord God of Ombos, unleash thy destructive power!
Wind and sand!
Oh, the sandstorm. That wasn't even an act of divine intervention, that was just a random sandstorm.
Zeti, by Horus, what must I do?
You are in the hands of the gods. Jump, child.
Jump? Zeti!
Papyrus!
You thought you could defeat me? Me, Uni?
The original album had more Seti as the protagonist, while this, it seems to be evenly shared between Papyrus and Seti.
Zeti? Inutet? What happened to you? Where were you? Tell us.
Well, Pharaoh's guards came and released me and the priests. How is my daughter?
Father! What joy to see you again. But Hatik? You! Alive! But Father, Hatik was
Yeah,
dead. I saw it.
just as in the album, he shows up alive.
I escaped from the temple when the brigands attacked. And then I was able to reach Pharaoh and his escort.
That is what happened, Zeti.
No, that's impossible. If Hatik is alive,
Then what we lived through was a dream.
a dream? Look at that.
Yep, just like in the album.
I must make sense of this. By Isis, it won't move. A dream? I just can't believe it.
So?
Nothing. We must have been dreaming. Both of us.
Look! My sword! How did it get there? I don't understand.
Let's go see Ratifer. He will know.
And then we woke up here. Now you know the whole story, Ratofer.
Ah, thanks to you, my children. Egypt has escaped yet another plot by Aka and the god who is Lord of Ombos.
But Hatik, Ratifer, can you explain that?
The great god Ra appeared to you as Hatik to protect the treasure from profanation.
But I saw Hatik die, and gods are immortal.
The gods' powers are beyond understanding. And as for how much of your adventure was dream and how much reality, only the gods know.
It's not even stated in the album which god was pretending to be Hapu. It seems like a random one was chosen for this, for the adaptation, and he just went with Ra. Well, anyway, that was the Rameses Revenge. It's okay. The adaptation. Obviously, the original album is much better. the throwing in of set worshippers, I don't know. Due to the album being a bit smaller than a Tintin album, I don't think this would have worked as a two-parter. Or maybe it would have, maybe there's longer Papyrus albums, but so far this is the only one I've got. Cinebook has started translating them into English, and since there's only 6 so far translated into English, well, better, get to acquiring the other 5. So I can do more commentaries on the Papyrus series. I'm Brian Quardragon, signing out. Eat your veggies!